What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I got my Bonamici triple tree in, and I absolutely love it. So we're back on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, so I can bring you a behind the scenes at work video. I ordered the black Bonamici street version top triple clamp. They notified me that those would not be available until sometime in September, but they did have the silver. Doesn't really matter. I mean, honestly, actually, again, you know, kind of made up my mind for me, because silver, black, I mean, I like the silver more almost just because it has that like Italian Ducati feel to it, you know, like real race bike feel. So I think I'll be happy with the silver, but I just wanted to show you guys. Don't mind the mess. I'm in the middle of cleaning and building, and yeah, my office is just ridiculous. It's beautiful and it's very light. Even with all the bolts in there, it's very light, and we'll have to get before and after weights for this versus the factory triple. Now the real question is it tapped underneath so that I can mount the GPS module for the AIM MXK10? Let's find out. There's the front side. Now it does have this. I'm trying to think of what mounts there. The GPS module on the factory triple, there's two holes right about here and here, like right in this area. So I'm not sure what this is. I'll have to look. If this doesn't go to anything, it'll make a good spot to run a bracket for sure. What I could probably do is put just a piece of metal and then mount the GPS module to that. So this is the street version, obviously, for the key, and it still has the spot for the stabilizer, and it does have spacers to mount the ignition. Let's take a look at what else comes with it. So this is your package. I'm assuming that one's for the stabilizer, which will be somewhat interesting too, because I'm planning on dropping the forks about an inch. So originally I was going to get the Brox spacers. All I really have to do now is measure it and have somebody make me a collar that's the right length, so that way I don't have to like stack pieces on top of each other. So that'll make lifting the stabilizer a little bit easier. And then you got your two for the ignition cylinder, I would imagine, and two washers. Pretty straightforward. Alright, now we got to get the factory one off and see what's underneath there. So here is the finished product. I was able to use the bolt hole that was under the triple to mount the ball for the ram mount arm. So now the pod is tucked up nice and clean under there. Ran the wire underneath. And I just got my Sprint filter in finally. So we're going to take the whole bike back apart again, and I'm going to show you how to replace your air filter. I also wanted to show you the stock triple underneath, and you can see those two holes where the AIM GPS module mounts to, where these two bolts are, and is where the stock clip-ons mount, so that you know they're lined up. I didn't even touch them though, so they're still in the exact same spot that they were in. But the cool thing is now if I wanted to adjust them, I could, except I'm just going to order some new clip-ons and just replace them. That'll be a project in itself, so that'll be fun, but I haven't decided on which clip-ons to go with yet. So I weighed it. It's 1.5 pounds almost exactly. That's what I came up with, 1.4 and change pounds, so call it 1.5 pounds. The Bonamici, 1/2 pound almost exactly. So we lost 1 pound by swapping out the triple. No fun getting the stock cylinder, ignition cylinder out. You have to cut the bolt heads off. It wasn't fun at all, but it's done. Bonamici comes with new bolts, obviously, to mount the cylinder in, so once it's off, it's no big deal. But replacing the air filter. Step 1, remove the passenger seat. Step 2, remove your 4mm Allen bolts from the tail so that we can slide this up and out. 2 10mm bolts to pull the seat off. A couple more Allens to pull the side plastics off. There'll be 2 more under to pull this piece off. 2 8mm bolts on the side of the tank. And then there'll be 2 more Allen bolts holding the tank in, and I am going to pull the tank completely off to do this. You don't have to replace the air filter, but it makes getting all the screws in the airbox much easier. let's get to work. These are those 2 Allen bolts I was talking about once we get to the part of taking the tank out. But next is going to be the Allen bolts here, here, and up in the front. So we can pull these side pieces off. In one of my other videos, I shared a little tip on doing that. Basically, you disconnect it from the back and the front, and then pull up on the middle. And that's the easiest way to get them off. So let's get that done. If you ever find yourself peeling the Velcro off, a good trick is a little 3M double-sided tape, and then you can just stick that back on there. I have it done to the other side. This side hadn't came off yet, but I am going to do that before I put it back together this time. This is what it looks like with the 3M tape on it. And this one is on there better than the factory one was. Five millimeter hex for the strap, the fuel tank strap. Get all those guys off, all the screws around the box. There's a couple different ways to get the screw out that's underneath your side sensors here, these relays. I usually just take the whole bracket off. On the other side, you just pull the steering stabilizer ECU off, then you can get to those ones. And then don't forget about the screw that's in the very middle of the box. So there's the old K&N. I don't know if you can really see through it. Oh yeah, there you go. You can see through it. See my fingers? And here's the new Sprint. K&N was probably fine. Is there going to be a difference? I highly doubt it. But I've always run Sprint filters. I used to run BMC religiously, and then I started running the Sprints, and I don't know, I really like the Sprint filters. I think they're one of the best filters you can get. And you can, I mean, look, you can tell how much more see-through that is than the K&N. I don't know, definitely a better filter. It's actually lighter too. I can tell you literally, not that it really matters, but this filter is definitely substantially lighter than this K&N filter is. And she's gonna go in with the lip facing down to seal it, and hopefully it fits good. And just start replacing all your screws. All right, now we just put it all back together. Reroute your cables. This one pushes in there, this one plugs in, and then this little foamy joint, anti-vibration block goes back on there. This gets clipped into there. This over here. And then this just slides in there. That's in the lip right here. It's also in its track right there. I rerouted the pod cable around the side of the airbox up under here. So I just don't want it to drop and then somehow, you know, get hung up in the throttle cable there. I mean, I don't think it will. It's in there pretty good. But then I ran it up underneath where all the other stuff goes, under the stabilizer bracket, under the bars, and up to the pod. There's plenty of room to go full tilt, and it's gonna look much cleaner without any cables hanging all over the place. So now we're just gonna get it back together.
I don't know if it's the triple tree or the fact that I tightened the steering stem nut a little bit, but man, does she feel way better in the corners now. Like way better, like night and day difference. Now my only problem is I need to get clip-ons because the factory bars to me just don't look right with the triple clamp. Otherwise, damn, she's good. She's good in the corners, man. I'm really happy. And it looks amazing too. I rerouted the GPS module, tucked it up under my fairing here, which you're not going to be able to see, but it is up inside here. So next weekend is the big motorcycle event for Connecticut. It's called East Coastin'. I look forward to it all year. And it is next Saturday at 2 o'clock in New Haven. Really looking forward to it because there hasn't been a whole lot of motorcycle stuff going on. My buddy, who owns the barbershop next door to my store, is opening a new custom motorcycle shop in Plainfield, Connecticut. It's called Bully Baggers and Sons. I'll put a link down in this description for you. You can check it out. He specializes in Harleys. I've seen some of his work. It's really cool stuff. Alright guys, until the next video, stay safe. Peace.